Greetings Tarnished, FiOth here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to actually get to Leyndell. I've been scratching my head for quite a few hours now and I only found some text online, so I took it upon myself to make you a very detailed guide in order to get there. So we're gonna start from here, the northwest part of the map at the Mausoleum compound. It is north from the Church of Vows. That's an area that's very easy to reach. You can see the map here. The spawn point will be called the Old Palace Ruins. Now you have to mount Torrent and follow the exact path that I am following. In the distance you will be seeing buildings. Don't get distracted by those because we're going in a very different direction and the game makes a very poor effort of explaining where the hell we should be going. So here we'll find some platforms. Follow my platforming to the letter if you want to avoid falling to your death. I already did once here. You cannot fall more than a few meters. Even though you can double jump mid-air, it will still count as a drop velocity and you will die. Drop down from here. And in order to make your life easier and avoid any unnecessary risk, go straight up to that sigil door there. You will find a grace that you can activate. After you activate the grace, talk to the NPC here on the left and we can continue with the path. Along the way you will meet some enemies, mounted cavalry that you can not very easily outrun, and there will be some foot soldiers as well. They're not very difficult if you reach this point being adequately developed when it comes to the character, so just kill what you can't avoid and power through what you wanna just skip. When you reach this opening you will be bombarded by catapults and ballistas because that's how life is. With a great gate to your right, as you see here, take a sharp left and a few meters away you will see a dilapidated church. Go into the church, it's business as usual. You can loot the sacred tier from here, activate the grace, and then we will proceed with a safer route. There are actually two more ways to do this. One entails going through all the catapults, which is just stupid, and the other one is to use a portal in the overworld to reach the Divine Tower of Leyndell, but there you'll only be fighting a golem and you will not be able to progress throughout the dungeon proper, so don't even think about it. We're here at the Bellum Church, getting closer to our objective. Going from the left here down to the lower path, you can continue onward until you reach a dungeon. You will actually reach a whole segment of land that you will have to go through. I don't want to spoil anything because a couple of things happen along the way, but you will be fighting squid here, and be very careful of these butt dickheads because they are quite strong. They have a grapple attack that will deal a lot of damage and they can poison you. At the end of this dungeon you will be fighting a boss as well. You can see where I am, so be prepared for that. It's pretty beefy, you'll need a lot of damage, but people have been struggling here if I judge from the bloodstains, so you should be able to summon some health if you're not soloing like I do. You grab the elevator at the end of this, and as soon as you see light out here, you're in the correct way. Now things happen on this plane as well, and I will not spoil anything. I don't want to ruin the surprise. What I can suggest here is you summon Torrent and keep going in a straight line until you meet the first grace. I'm gonna show you exactly how you're gonna get to the first grace so you don't miss it, because if you miss it here and something goes wrong, there's a long trek behind you. This is called the Atlas Plane, and you will also find a new material here, the Atlas Flower. I'm right here, I don't have the map for this. We will soon though. Grab Torrent here and keep galloping in the distance. I'm gonna cut some footage to avoid the spoiler I mentioned before. Here's the Altus Bloom, the new material. To the right there are some enemies, they're pretty beefy. I would suggest you avoid them. We don't want any accidents here, we just want to reach our objective. Keep going straight on the path, and the path will lead you to these ruins, and in these ruins you can activate the grace, and you can also talk to Melina after a long while. I think it's been like 20 hours since I spoke to her, maybe more. Now you can see the castle proper in the distance, and the Erdtree's base is also there, so it's a pretty huge landmark that is very hard to miss. There is another grace here, and I suggest you grab this because the actual approach to the castle gave me Anor Londo vibes. So as you can expect, it's not gonna be a walk in the park. The Altus Highway Junction is where we're at this point. Gallop and grab either the left or the right side. Don't be in the middle because as you can see here, and as it should be, there are ballista, and later on in this staircase there are also archers with great bows. They will not drop you off torrent in one hit, but they can deal some hefty damage, and you also don't wanna risk any accidents here because getting back here it's quite the stroll, and we want to avoid this. You see double doors up there, and it looks like the ordeal is over. There is one last challenge left for us, and that is insanely not one but 2 sentinels. It's a double boss fight. So I summoned my banished knight here, and my idea was I will just beeline it and they can focus the summon, and I will be able to make it through the gates. As soon as you make it through the gates, you will be greeted by a tree. You can grab the item from there to upgrade your flask. There is also a grace. This is pretty much a hub area for this part of the place, and the map for the area is also a step away from you there in the back of the screen. With this, guys, you've reached Leyndell, and you can proceed with your adventure instead of just wandering around. Sub, like, and share if you found this useful. I'm covering everything in Elden Ring. Also, grab a membership for the channel or visit my Patreon if you really want to help me out. I appreciate all your generosity greatly, guys. Until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection. Cheers!